Hey artists, you just read the story Magic Ramen, which is a true story about the man named Momofuku Ando who created the instant ramen meal. He also created Cup of Noodles, which you might have even had or eaten, which basically is just a package of dry noodles, which you add hot water to, and it creates this sort of delicious broth with noodles in them. And you can eat them with a spoon or a fork or chopsticks like these, which were actually invented in China and sometimes are just simple bamboo sticks, and sometimes have elaborate designs on them and are made out of different materials, different types of wood, maybe metal, maybe plastic. And so if we have time, I might even show you how to use these to pick up different types of food. So now that we've read a story about ramen, I actually wanted to show you a couple different ways that you could artistically draw a bowl of noodles, and you're going to get to choose your favorite design and then turn it into this larger, more colorful picture. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I want you to find something round. It could be a can of food or a cup, anything round, and I want you to draw 4 circles on your paper. Okay, you put the cup down. 1, 2, draw lightly so we can erase. 3, 4. This is going to be the base of your bowl, okay? So we're just going to do one design at a time. And you can actually come up with your own design for noodles because there's really no wrong way to do it as long as you have multiple repeating lines. They can be straight lines or curved lines, arcs, however you want to do it. But the first bowl that we're going to do is going to be a bowl as if we could see inside the bowl, almost like we cut the bowl away. So within that first bowl, I want you to draw a U shape with 2 horizontal little lines connecting it to the outside of the circle. Erase that top part that we ended up not using. And then give your bowl a little bit of a base, a foot. Not an actual foot, just something that it would sit on. Okay, if you want, you can go ahead and shade that in, but you could leave it unshaded right now because really we're just practicing. We're drawing what you might call thumbnails, which is kind of a strange term for a bunch of different small drawings. I guess that's why they call it a thumbnail, because our nails are kind of small. But it's a small drawing that you make practicing what your final design might look like. So you can already tell this drawing is way smaller than this one, and I'm probably not even going to bother adding color unless I need to practice the colors that I want to choose. To make the ramen in the bowl, I think I'm going to do at least 3 lines, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is start in the middle, and I'm going to start a spiral. A spiral going around and around. How many times did I go around? 1, 2, 3, and that spiral never touched itself, and then I'm going to go straight up out of the bowl. I think that already looks pretty cool, but it doesn't really look like noodles. Let's see if I can do another spiral to make it a little thinner. I'm going to start it in the middle again and go around and around and up. Okay, see, now this noodle actually looks like it has some thickness. I wonder if I can add another noodle. This is looking pretty full, so I'm not going to try to squeeze another noodle in there. What if I just start here and do one big spiral and up? It's pretty cool. Kind of looks like the lowercase letter D. You know what? I'm going to do that one more time, just what I did. Start right here, spiral around the bottom of the bowl right here so that it looks like the noodles are sitting in the bowl and up. Obviously, this is not how noodles really look, but if you cut away the bowl, maybe if you were twirling it and twirling it and twirling it, this is how it would look. So let me go ahead and add these 2 sticks, the chopstick shapes, at the top, okay? Now, when people hold chopsticks, you could even practice this with 2 pencils or 2 sticks if you wanted to. You're gonna put 1 chopstick between your 3rd and 4th finger, and then the back of it sort of sits in this little nook right here between your thumb and your pointer finger. The other one, the one that moves, see, this one stays still. This one I'm pinching between my thumb and my index finger, and then I just sort of open and close that last little joint, that last little knuckle of my pointer finger, my index finger. Okay, so that means that sometimes these chopsticks are parallel, straight, and sometimes they've got this little point, right? This V shape to them. So I'm gonna draw the chopsticks as if it were a sideways V. It gets a little thick here and then it gets a little thin, and I'm going to shade that in just like I did to the bowl. And then I'm gonna go line, and it goes thick to thin point. I think that looks pretty cool. Let me show you another way to draw some ramen noodles. Now this bowl is not gonna be open, cut away like this. Instead, I'm just gonna start in the middle of one side and go straight across. I'm gonna darken this bottom line, add my foot again, and erase that top line that I don't need. This time, the inside of my bowl, I'm going to add some sort of ridges. I'm gonna add designs like this. These almost look like tiger stripes. That's kind of cool. In fact, if I wanted to, I could shade around those little tiger stripes that I just did. See, I'm just trying to come up with different ways of drawing bowls, different ways of drawing noodles, sometimes even different ways of drawing chopsticks, because when we're artists, we don't want to get stuck just drawing things one way. We want to practice and invent drawing things lots of different ways. All right, got my bowl, looking pretty cool. And you know what? The more that I look at it, the more I think we could turn this one actually into noodles that are heaped up in a giant mound, almost looking like a rainbow. So even though I erased this line, I can still kind of see it. I'm gonna go back over it. And I just had an idea. What if when we're done drawing this rainbow, what if we colored it, these noodles, the color of the rainbow? We're artists, we can color it however we want. I think that's a great idea. I think I could find enough markers that I could make these red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Wow, that worked out really nicely. Now I'm gonna do my chopsticks the same way, but rather than facing this way, I'm gonna have them sort of touching that center dot in the bowl. So I do a very skinny V, color it in, and a very skinny V, and color it in. That's pretty cool. Let me see if I can draw it two more ways. This bowl, same thing. Start in the middle of the circle, go straight across. Down, add the foot. This time I'm gonna add something called a highlight, okay? The highlight is where the sun or a light hits a shiny surface or hits any surface and creates this bright white spot. So it's gonna be kind of like a triangle. So I'm gonna add a highlight right there. And when I shade in my bowl, I'm gonna make sure that I don't shade in a highlight. We're gonna be talking about highlights a lot over the next few years, because every time that I have you draw something, whether it's realistic or imaginary, I'm gonna have you add a highlight, because the way that we make things look more convincing and more real is by adding areas that are light and then adding areas that are dark, okay? So erase that top part, we don't need that anymore. And this one's gonna look like a wave. I really like this one because it reminds me of the ocean. And the wave is gonna start at this side of the bowl. It's gonna go all the way up, almost like we were following that guideline that we just erased. Curve it over and stop. Head back down towards the bowl. Now come over here. Let's do it again. Like a shark fin almost. Come up here, stop, head back down to the bowl. Let's do it one more time. Up, stop, back down to the bowl. See how that kind of looks like a wave? Okay. Now I'm gonna come over to this side of the bowl and I'm gonna do a shallower curve. Up, down, up, sort of tuck it right in like this wants to come up here and give him a high five. And then follow the curve back to where you started. Let's do it again. Up, down, up. And just a little guy right here. That looks pretty cool too. All right, you ready? Chopsticks. We're gonna fit them in right here. V, skinny, skinny V, almost like a splinter. Shade it in, skinny, skinny V. All right. Last design, artists. Are you ready? This one is going to be a bowl straight across. Give your bowl a little lip. So I want you to do 3 lines straight across. Shade in that top line. Leave that second line white. Bring the rest all the way down. It's these small details that make your drawing look a little bit different from everyone else's. You can add the foot, but this time I want you to leave a little bit of white space in between the foot and the bowl. Go ahead and erase that top line. When you're shading in, can you try shading dark at the bottom? Press really hard with that pencil. And then when you go towards the top, lighten up. Start pushing a little bit lighter. Release that pressure until you make it to the top edge of the bowl and you're barely pressing it all with that pencil. That's gonna make it a dark gray at the bottom and a light gray at the top. And this is just a way of practicing shading. This is something that we're gonna practice when we are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade a lot more, but it can't hurt to practice right now. Okay, this one is just gonna be a zigzag path back and forth and back and forth. So we're gonna start on the right side over here. We're gonna go all the way over. Then we're gonna go up and all the way back over. Now, hang on a second because I wanna make sure that when we're drawing these noodles, we stay within this imaginary arc, the line that we just erased. So when you go back up, make sure you don't go outside that line. Curve, curve, curve back. I really like how that looks, but I want to turn it into a noodle that I can color in. Right now it's just a single line, so what I want to do is add a little line here and go over, back, over, back, over. Obviously, this is not how a noodle would look in real life. We're just trying to show the viewer that this is a bowl full of noodles. Let's go ahead and add a sideways U or a backwards C right here. And then turn that into a noodle as well. Lay your chopsticks right on top. You're a pro at drawing these chopsticks at this point. And those are the 4 designs that I want you to choose from. Now, when you're all done practicing these 4 designs and you've chosen your favorite, I want you to draw a circle, a bigger circle around your design. Color that circle in one solid color. Color the bowl in another solid color. And it's your choice. I'm gonna let you leave the chopsticks and the noodles black and white. You can just outline your pencil lines with black marker if you have it, or you can color them in. Like I said, your favorite color or rainbow colors would look really cool. Whatever you decide, I would love to see what you come up with. So remember, you can have a parent email me a picture of your drawing, or you can show it to your teacher and they can put a picture of it in Seesaw, and then I'll go look at it later this week. Thanks for sticking with me with this drawing. I hope you had a good time, and I will talk to you soon.